Hi, this is Kate. Welcome to In the Studio with Kate. It's week 31. You might wonder why I'm wearing a tiara on my head. Isn't this cute? It's this little comb thingy. It's this little tiara. Of course, it's sitting on my desk because I have a disaster going in my house. So I thought, oh, I'll wear it for my video. You know, I was the queen of creativity. So there's my baby crown. It's not sitting right on my head right now, of course. Anyways, I thought I'd wear it because it's fun. This past week, oh, and I talked about the disaster. There was a flood in my house because my husband hooked up the hoses and he left the hose on, which then seeped into the ground. The ground collapsed around a big, huge window well that goes down to my basement, filled up with water, then started coming into the house. So we had like 2 inches of water all over this spare bedroom we have, and it got into the closet where I store some of my art stuff. So a mess, a big mess. It's going to be in a mess for a couple of days. So there's stuff everywhere. It's not the case that the studio's a mess. The studio's a mess. The office is a mess. The hallways getting in each room was a mess, you know, so it's just crazy. Anyways, let's get back to the fun stuff. This past week, I'm doing the sketchbook revival course, and one of the things they gave you to do is instructions on making your own sketchbooks, which I've done many a times. I really didn't need the instructions, but so I made a little one. This is just a pamphlet stitch book. It only has, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 10, 12 pages, something like that. It's a great little book to make for a class, which you do something every day. So I did this for the sketchbook revival. I haven't done all the exercises, but I've done a few of them. This just had all my, the woman in her hair has all my intentions. This was just my cup for the day. And then these were 2 landscape things in watercolor, or not landscape, city dwelling things. This one was the scribble art with Amanda Grace. And then this one was this, you do the scribbling and then you do it. And I found these 2 people in there, and then I painted black gesso around them. And then the one on this side, I just couldn't, there was anything that I liked, and I just covered the whole thing with black. I think what I'm going to do is paint in acrylic over it and make this a 2-page spread. And then here was the heron, and this is just practicing doing marks with a certain kind of paintbrush. And then the heron that I did with that process. I think that's the last thing I've done in this book. But after I did the one book at the impetus of my friend Christina, who had created a book, I thought, oh, I guess I could do it. I ended up making 2 more. These I put nicer watercolor paper in. This is Fabriano watercolor paper. And once again, I just made a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Really easy to do. I put heavier watercolor paper on the outside for a cover, which I can also decorate. So I made 2 of those. Okay, then I looked around my studio, and I'm sure this stuff might happen to you. I saw something stuffed in the corner. I go, what is that? And it was the starts of 2 accordion books. I just had not taken the pages and connected them. So it was 2 sheets folded accordion style, and it just had not been glued together. I like the idea of using double stick tape, which I got from that video. So I found that one, and then I have this teeny little one to make a little book, which is, and they're so simple. I haven't done anything with them. The accordion books don't have covers on them. I think I would attach a cover at the end. So those are kind of fun. Little segue into something else that you don't realize you're going to do. But I have been working in my Moleskine journal. Can't remember if I've showed you this, sorry about that. I can't remember if I did. I did that last week sometime. And then this one that I did, I can't remember when. I used to date things all the time, and I stopped dating them, and I need to change them, make that come back. But these 3 ladies came out, and I actually put faces on them this time, but they were kind of fun. Only graphite, or I was using the Pentel ink brush pen for the ink part. Now this next page, I didn't put much of a space between the pictures, so I want to show them to you separately. But this was a picture I took when I went to Shoshone Falls last month, and that is just the river going under a bridge. That's a lot of art graph. And this one time with art graph, what I did is I took the water brush right to the art graph and got some graphite on it, and then painted with it, and that worked pretty well because I was trying to make that kept to go dark. And this next one is also a drawing from a picture off my phone from that same event, and this is just some rocks that were sitting there, which I always attracted to big rocks like that because I like the idea of going down and stillness. They're both on the same page like that. I like to be able to sit on rocks and draw, meditate, think about life, whatever. And then last night I drew this lady. She was from a picture on the internet. I did change her quite a bit. I kind of like to start with some kind of imagery as reference and then make a little bit different from what the picture is, you know. So those are the things that I've been doing artistically. And then I'm starting to think about creating a new website. So I've got my kind of head in thinking about, you know, how much I want to change, how much I want it to be different. And that takes a lot of kind of downtime away from art. But, oh, there's one other thing. One other thing I want to show you. I just got this in the mail yesterday, but this is this new paper out. It is by Strathmore. I have not seen it in a store yet. I bought it off Amazon, but it is toned blue mixed media paper. Comes in all sorts of sizes. This is the 11 by 14. But although it's toned blue, to me, it looks green. But it's pretty cool color to be starting with. And when you look at the picture on the cover, the artwork that's been made with that, it's either colored pencil or pastel or a combination. Don't know for sure, but it's beautiful. You can just see the bits of the paper right here. So I'm excited to actually try doing some work on it. I'm actually one of those people who has known kind of paper to actually do work on it. And then it ends up being a problem for me. It's like, where do I put the paper? I just have a small little room for my studio. And what I came up with after trying to talk to a few artist friends, what do you do? You know, some people have bigger places and they have these great drawers with the narrow, I don't know what you call that, narrow depth. That's great for putting flat papers in. So I went through all my stuff and tried to figure out a different way to do it. And what I ended up doing, and I'm trying to think if it's within reach, like all my paintings I did in Mexico, it's just like, where do I store those things? So I bought one of these portfolios. This one's hard-sided, plastic. I got it at Michael's. It is 23 by 31, but I got it with a 60% off coupon. So, and it hardly has anything in it right now, but it will hold a lot more for those kinds of things that you don't have a place for and you don't know how to store what you need to store. Sorry for being off camera there. But I had one painting that was really big. It was like 30 by 18 or something. Big watercolor sheet of paper. Would not fit in there. Wouldn't fit anywhere. And it was just like, oh, do I even want to keep this? But it is a record of my journey, so I did. So what I did is I rolled it up and I put it in one of these that I actually bought this to take to Mexico and then I didn't use it. But it's a great way to roll up papers and have a place to store it. So those are my solutions on a budget. If you are running into that yourself, that you have issues of how to store your paper, the only one that I'm having an issue with right now is I have a pad of newsprint that you don't want to stand it up against a wall or anything, and I don't have anything flat to put it in. So right now, it's stuck on my easel back in the corner, and when I'm going to be painting on these, I'll probably have to move it, but for now, it's a temporary thing. So my great advice, if you run into these things with your studio, is talk to other artists or friends. Go online in a group or forum and ask what other people do. Sometimes you come up with some great inventive ideas because not everybody has the perfect space. Some people don't even have a space. So we have to come up with things that are actually going to work really well. The other thing I'd like to mention is that I've been watching the Genius Program on the National Geographic Channel, and it is all on Picasso. And so far, it's been fabulous. Antonio Banderas plays Picasso. He's doing a really good job. And they have, several other actors who are playing the roles from his life, and you actually do get to see him paint. This last episode was all about the Blue Period, which was really fascinating to me because you could see where the paintings that he did were the characters that you had been watching. And, and the drama that happened in that period in his life. Now, when I look at those paintings, I know, oh, that's about his friend who committed suicide. I mean, this is about that. So that's why I know online we meet artists and we always want to know a little bit more about them. That's kind of held true with this as well. So if you have access to that channel, I highly recommend taking a look at that series because it's really good. I look forward to seeing where it goes next because I don't know that much about Picasso. So I'm learning a lot, and it's I've taken a few little courses online with his artwork, and so this just is enriching that experience. It's neat seeing what's going on in the head of someone who pretty much is considered a genius, and lived not just so long ago. So I'm really enjoying it. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that you're all getting some time in your studios, even if you have disasters like mine. There's ways to work out into it. We got to keep that fire going and that desire to create going. You don't want to let that slide. So if you're doing something fabulous in your studio, or if you're just doing something little, I'd love to hear about it. Just leave me a comment and link to your site. I'd love to go look at what you're working on. And until next week, let's make art.